vacation capsules, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that really cut loose there?
Come here, let's grab it one at a time.
will you please join me in an invocation? Let us pray. Gracious and most merciful God, thank you for leading us to curiosity about creation, about ourselves and all things unknown. Thank you for leading us to this time and this place at Shenandoah University after many years of searching your grandeur, piquing our curiosity, and searching through the many questions. Help us never to lose our sense of wonder about the world that you have given us, and help us to thank those who have increased our curiosity, and help us to ask the relevant question. The faculty, the staff, our families and friends. Thank you for putting those people in our lives who have led us to this point, to this time, and formed us into who we are. Thank you for this great journey and this celebration. Let us all revel in this moment, and let us launch our graduates to the greater journey that follows, to a world that needs their education, their leadership, their energy, and their compassion. It is in the name of the Holy One that we all pray. Amen.
Go, David!
Please be seated. Graduating students, just as we expect that you are going to bring great things and sunshine to the world, you have brought us sunshine in a day that they predicted rain today. Now, ignore that cloud that's gathering overhead. Chairman of the board, Andy Ferrari, along with a number of trustees, are here today. Join me in congratulating our graduates and their families and friends that have come from far and wide today. Among you, we have students who hailed from Winchester or Fairfax or Southwest Virginia and places across Virginia, from Washington, D.C. and Baltimore and West Virginia, from Florida and North Carolina and New Jersey. But we also have students from across the 50 states. And we have students and their families who are here with us today from China or Ghana or Sweden. We have students here from Venezuela and Mexico and Russia. We have with us today a student who's graduating whose father is the director of the school in Haiti for 5,000 kids that collapsed during the earthquake. His daughter is graduating with us. They are that school that we have been supporting, that so many of you have raised money for over the years. Mr. St. Fort, will you stand so we can cheer you on and let you know we are still with you in Haiti? We also have with us today the woman who led the GCP trip to Panama 6 years ago and then sent us her daughter and led another GCP trip this year, Doris Navarro. Doris, we're so grateful that you have helped, like so many across the world that couldn't be here today, to teach our students not only to be great local citizens, but to be great global citizens. Thank you. Students, as you graduate today, you're not the only ones leaving. Because the man who was Dean of Admissions, who admitted you and welcomed you, David Anthony, retires with you, or leaves with you this week as he's retiring. Carolyn Rutherford, who has worked in the President's office and at Shenandoah for 27 years and helped welcome you, helped work with faculty and staff and students for years. She is retiring. And Dr. Brian Grigsby moves on to be president elsewhere. We are grateful for all that you have done.
President Fitzsimmons, distinguished guests, faculty members, family, friends, and most especially the members of the Shenandoah University class of 2013. I am honored to bring you greetings on behalf of the Shenandoah University Alumni Association, Class of 2013, you are now joining more than 15,000 Shenandoah alumni. I'm Pam Bell, President-elect of the Shenandoah Alumni Association, and I welcome you to our group and wish you well and hope to see you at homecoming in October. Keep in touch, and we'll keep in touch with you.
Think like a person of action, but act like a person of thought. And third, remember that every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. Congratulations to the Shenandoah University class of 2013.
Congratulations to the class of 2013. We have lots of student recognitions that happen throughout the graduation period. We cannot put those all into words here, but we would like our students who have received school-wide accolades, honors, and prizes, and university-wide awards to please stand right now and be recognized. Congratulations to all of you on your excellent accomplishments. The designation of Professor Emeritus is an honorary title.
Brad is a staff member who has dedicated over 10 years to capturing Shenandoah University's community at its brightest through the Office of Advancement. He regularly serves as a bridge between the students' success and also our guests and our supporters in the community. Brad recently chaired the Steinway Initiative and worked behind the scenes with many Shenandoah University supporters to enable our students the access to work with such incredible instruments and be the best that they can be. The male student recipient of this award is Joshua Walker. Joshua, come forward. Josh has been described by his multiple nominees as one who has grown dramatically in his 4 years at Shenandoah University. Josh is active across campus as a tutor for fellow students in environmental studies, helps with Students Helping Honduras, and traveled to Cuba in 2012 with the Shenandoah University. Maybe Josh knew the rain was coming. Josh has also volunteered. Well, come here, Josh, come here. Josh has also volunteered with Salvation Army, Frederick Douglass Elementary School, and with the Maury Paz Iglesia Metodista. One nominee said about Josh, "I am most impressed by Josh's humble..."
Professor Brian Pierce Gonzalez was selected to receive the Exemplary Teacher Award for his innovative teaching strategies and the passion he brings to the classroom. He is known for bringing language and culture alive via group.
Ina Mae Gaskin has been called the most famous midwife in the world. Behind this acclaim is her belief: good beginnings make a positive difference in the world, so it is worth our while to provide the best possible care for mothers and babies throughout this extraordinarily influential part of life. As a world-renowned certified professional midwife, educator, writer, and advocate for mothers and babies everywhere, Ina Mae Gaskin has tirelessly fought for a safe birth for all people. As the recipient of the 2011 Right Livelihood Award, she received international recognition for her life's work of teaching and advocating safe, woman-centered childbirth methods that best promote the physical and mental health of the mother and child. The award known as the Alternative Nobel Prize, is awarded annually in Stockholm at a ceremony in the Swedish Parliament to honor and support those offering practical and exemplary answers to the most urgent challenges facing us today. Following her first midwifery experience in 1970, when she assisted at a birth in a school bus, Ina May Gaskin was inspired to study midwifery as a way of providing birth choices for women in the United States. In 1971, she founded the Farm Midwifery Center in Tennessee, where she has taught many Shenandoah University graduate nursing students. She has assisted in some 1,200 unmedicated births, and together with her partners, more than 3,000. Her work and expertise have pioneered midwifery education for decades, preserving knowledge too readily forgotten in our health system. The Gaskin maneuver, an obstetrical procedure she learned from traditional Guatemalan midwives, is now taught internationally. In witness of these contributions as a champion of mothers and babies around the world, Shenandoah University is honored to award the degree Doctor of Science to Ina May Gaskin.
Ina May Gaskin, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees and the Commonwealth of Virginia, I hereby confer upon you the degree Doctor of Science with all of its rights, honors, and privileges. Congratulations, Dr. Gaskin.
Well, it's with deep humility that I accept this wonderful honor. It's especially meaningful that it takes place in my own country. I always thought I was going to have a very boring life, but it didn't turn out that way. I first had the thought perhaps that it might be wonderful to attend births when, as a new Peace Corps volunteer, I found myself in Malaysia in 1963, shortly after the assassination of President Kennedy. And one of the members of that same Peace Corps training group, Malaysia 5, her name was Margie Benning, and she was a fairly new registered nurse, found herself in a boat between Malaysia and
And tomorrow, if you're watching CBS Sunday Morning, Ina will be on TV tomorrow morning. So, the faculty and Board of Trustees of Shenandoah University have recommended the degree Doctor of Laws be conferred upon John H. Sununu. Will John Sununu please come to the podium? In keeping with the action of the faculty and the Board of Trustees, I present to you John Sununu, candidate for the degree Doctor of Laws. The basis for this action is set forth in the following citation, read by Dr. Miles Davis, Dean of the School of Business.
It is rare in our modern times to have an individual who has been successful in so many different arenas. What makes John Sununu's success story even more interesting is that it comes with the classic American immigrant story. Born in Havana, Cuba, the son of a family with diverse roots that reach into worlds as disparate as El Salvador and Palestine. John Sununu's career has continued on the same wide-ranging path as his background.
John Sununu, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Commonwealth of Virginia and the University's Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon you the degree Doctor of Laws with all of its rights, honors, and privileges. Congratulations, Dr. Sununu, and we're looking forward to your address.
Thank you very much, President Fitzsimmons. Thank you, Vice President Grigsly, Vice President Morton. Thank you also to Dean Allen, Dean Davis, Dean McKay, Dean Gainsky, and Dean Stepniak. And especially, I would like to thank all of you graduates, parents, and friends for tolerating my adding a few moments to this commencement ritual. I am absolutely sure that in every mind out there, there's a single thought: I hope this guy's speech is really short. I promise to respect that concern, because I do understand the appropriate significance of a commencement address. I'm acutely aware of the fact that not only do I not remember a single word said at any of my commencements, I don't even remember who said it. Of course, my wife would attribute that to early senility, or at least confirmation of her claim that I never listened to anyone anyway. My congratulations and best wishes to all you graduates, and my special congratulations to all you former tuition payers who are in the audience. Over the years, I have been very successful in avoiding giving commencement addresses. But when my dear friend Dr. Mirza asked me to do this one at Shenandoah, I really could not turn him down. And when I did my homework on Shenandoah, it was very apparent that this is a great university with a great faculty and with great values. And I am both pleased and honored to have been asked to be a little part of what this is today. As I thought back on the last commencement address I did give, which at first I thought was about 2 years ago, and in fact turned out to have been a decade ago, it reminded me of how amorphous our concept of time, our use of time, our sense of time becomes as we live out our lives. My own theory on this evolving sense of time is that 10% of anyone's life goes as fast as any other 10%. That is to say, when you're 70, 7 years pass by as quickly as 2 years seem to pass by when you were 20. If you combine that concept with the truism, well begun is half done, you eventually get to the realization that for you, you will almost certainly find out that what happens in your next 5 to 10 years will provide you with the momentum and will set the tone and will be the catalyst for what you can accomplish and what you will accomplish in your lifetime. The decisions you make and the performance you do and the habits you develop over these years will help define what you can do and will do, as well as what you can be and will be. But surprisingly, perhaps, I believe you will also find out that what you get out of those critical years will, to a great extent, also be the result of how you deal with luck, good fortune, and unplanned opportunities. I don't mean the kind of luck that we might call lottery luck, where you buy a ticket and end up with a big prize. I mean the more plausible kind of luck, which requires you to actually turn a lucky,
often unpredictable opportunity into something good or even into some great results. That luck is the kind of luck of hearing about a great employment opportunity, or the kind of luck of finally encountering your perfect lifetime partner, or the kind of luck of finding a wonderful business investment, or the kind of luck of coming across a handful of ideas and data which inspire in you a great new concept, or the kind of luck that presents you with an improbable opportunity to try a whole new career. I myself have been lucky enough to have the stars align just right for me in specific instances of each one of those examples. And I was fortunate enough to have been ready and eager to take advantage of each one of them. I had the lucky opportunity in the summer of my sophomore year at MIT of being offered a chance to be the first employee, and for some time the only employee, of a new engineering company. You learn a lot when you're doing it all. The same year, I was lucky enough to meet a lady that didn't think I was completely nuts. And I have now shared 54 wonderful years of marriage with her. And when I went back to MIT to get my PhD, I was lucky enough to find a great faculty advisor who was in as much of a hurry as I was. And so I was able to get it done in 9 months. Even more improbably, as I love being an engineer and as much as I love teaching engineering, an odd set of circumstances came along and I ended up being elected governor of the state of New Hampshire. And while governing, I was lucky enough to find a great friend and a vice president who wanted to run for president and who asked me to help his campaign, and after he was elected, asked me to go to the White House with him as chief of staff during what was one of the most exciting times in history as the Soviet Union was collapsing. None of this was planned, and none of this could have been planned. It was the good fortune of circumstances that could only be harvested by being prepared, focused, and ambitious enough to accept the challenge of those opportunities as they came into view. Of course, there's a lot more less personal and more prominent examples which can underscore for you how chance and circumstance properly seized can make all the difference in the world. If we go back a few years, it's the kind of lucky observation that led Alexander Fleming to the discovery of penicillin. This is the kind of luck that the two Steves had, Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, when they saw that the moment was right for small personal computers, and they scrambled to put together the first Apple. Or it is the kind of luck that Bill Gates had when he happened to hear IBM was looking for a software system for its new PC, and after telling them he had what they needed, he went and figured out how to do it and delivered. And on the political side, there's the example of my friend Bill Clinton seizing the opportunity when none of the more heavy and more famous heavyweights of his party wanted to run against the sitting president. Of course, it's obvious that in order to benefit from this kind of luck, you must be smart and motivated and agile enough to turn the chance of circumstances into a positive result. Clearly, some of the assets you need to take advantage of these situations when good fortune is staring you in the face is the education and the skills and the strength of character you have developed here at Shenandoah. What you absorbed in these 4 years will make it easier for you to take advantage of these lucky events. But I'd be remiss if I didn't warn you that these opportunities always seem to show up unannounced, unlabeled, and often in implausible situations. Sort of like what Yogi Berra meant when he said, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. Your life will turn out better because you will have the preparation and the discipline to do the right thing when the lucky bonbon comes along. Let's return for a moment to that theme of our perception of time and how our sense of time is an important part of how gratifying, and I mean that in the most constructive sense of that word, important on how gratifying the years ahead for you will be. Fraction of the lifetime of our country. In those last 74 years, we have legislated over 95% of all the laws passed in America. And in that time, I have seen in person 12 of our 44 presidents. If I include Harry Truman, who drove past my grade school with his arm and head hanging out the window, waving to my 6th grade class that had gathered to watch his motorcade ride by. To put it in a more personal context for you, in about 60 years, your life expectancy is such that your 85 will be the new 75, which is the new 65. In 60 years, by then you will have lived for about 30% of the then lifetime of the United States. So even for you, it is crucial to recognize that we are still a young nation and that we will continue to be an evolving nation. We must be sensitive to the fact that our system is fragile and is susceptible to drastic change. And we must pay attention and be vigilant about what we do and don't do to that system. In the grand and long perspective of history, the American framework of democracy and a free economy is still a relatively young concept with an eventual outcome that will depend a great deal on you as an impacting generation who will shape it and change it as it goes through its next phases. Now finally, or almost finally, since there may be a few of you who are out there hoping I might say something controversial, permit me to take advantage of holding on to this microphone to touch on one issue I feel very strongly about. Just a week ago at a similar commencement at Ohio State, our president told the graduates to ignore the voices of those who express concern over the growth of government and the expanded intrusion of government control over our lives. To me, that admonition ignores real, legitimate, basic concerns noted way back to Washington and Jefferson and Madison and other critical thinkers throughout the years. That admonition is just wrong, naive, and deceptive, and it flies in the face of history. What America needs is not more government, but better government. And that can only happen. And that can only happen if we get more good people willing to serve, willing, if you will, to tithe their time to making things better. I hope that some of you here will choose to add public service to your community and to your country, to your list of things to do. I promise you, there is nothing more gratifying or more satisfying, nothing really more fun than serving and helping make things a little better. Make government better, not bigger. There is a quote which at various times in various forms is attributed to Jefferson and also to Jimmy Carter and to Gerald Ford and to Ronald Reagan and others that capsulizes why that distinction is so important. The quote is, "A government big enough to give us everything we want is a government big enough to take away everything we have." Beware the tempting siren of short-term entitlement at the expense of your long-term freedom. Now, finally, let's return to that Dr. Seuss question. How did it get so late so soon? You will someday ask it of yourself. I truly hope that when you do get around to asking, it will be because time did fly by and because you were really having fun. I hope you had the great pleasure of fun and fun of seizing those lucky opportunities and exceeding your dreams. And I hope time raced by for you because you were lucky enough to share your life with a family you truly cared for. And that it all passed by in a flash because you were fulfilling your career and having fun in doing what you really liked. And because you had fun giving back a little to your community and the country you loved. When you get to that Dr. Seuss moment, I truly hope your answer will be, wow, it did go fast, but it was one great ride. Good luck. Thank you for letting me be part of your important day, and God bless you all.
Graduates, it's about that time. Will the candidates for degrees please rise? President Fitzsimmons, having completed the course of study prescribed by Shenandoah University and having been pronounced proficient in this course by the faculty, it is my honor and pleasure to present these candidates to you for the awarding of the appropriate degrees.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees in the Commonwealth of Virginia, Shenandoah University hereby confers upon you the appropriate degree with all of its honors, rights, and privileges.
Congratulations. Please be seated. Will the candidates in the first two rows to my left please rise and come forward? Our December and May graduates are listed separately in your program, but they walk together in their schools. Students graduating with honors wear gold cords and are listed in your program. All candidates for bachelor degrees are eligible for honors based on the cumulative grade point average.
Megan Ann Johnson, Bachelor of Arts, Mass Communication. Blanca Odelia Navarro, Bachelor of Arts, Mass Communications, cum laude. Keta Katsumi, undergraduate certificate, English as a second language. Katsutoshi Abe, undergraduate certificate, English as a second language. Valerie Ann Bergeron, Bachelor of Arts, Spanish, summa cum laude. Levant, Bachelor of Science, Alexandra Marie Barr, Bachelor of Science, Kinesiology, cum laude. Jessica Colleen Wright, Bachelor of Science, Biology, Bachelor of Science, Chemistry. Tyler S. Finley, Bachelor of Science, Kinesiology. Sean Wilson Lloyd, Bachelor of Science, Kinesiology, undergraduate certificate, Kinesiology coaching. David Christopher Wilson, Bachelor of Science, Kinesiology, undergraduate certificate,
Yo, take a picture.
Stephen Kyle Dellinger, Bachelor of Science, Criminal Justice. Matthew James Bounds, Bachelor of Science, Kinesiology. Nathaniel Thomas Mullins, Science, History, undergraduate certificate, secondary education. Daniel Thomas Wright, Bachelor of Science, Kinesiology.
Yeah, Rick!
Michael Raymond Duda, Bachelor of Science, Kinesiology, and Physical Education.
Okay.
Deborah Paul Moore, Bachelor of Science and Psychology. Michael Scott Morris, Bachelor of Science, Kinesiology. Ricardo James Wallace.
Kathleen Marie Evangelisto, Master of Science in Education, Special
They're family
Education.
walking behind each other. See y'all.
Yeah, Rick. Adriana Kinsey, Master of Science.
Oh, yeah. Hell, you terrible, guys. You know what, man? No,
Elisa Marie Schwartz, Graduate Professional Certificate in Special Education.
Thank you. I got it. With your chin all in.
Susan Starr Zanny, Graduate Professional Certificate, Administration and Supervision. Jeffrey Allen Fletcher, Graduate Professional Certificate, Administration and Supervision.
Between you and Meg. Send me that.
Kevin Edward Cole, Master of Science in Education, emphasis on teaching. Carrie Lynn Clayton, Master of Science in Education, individualized focus. Colin Kimberly Nordstrom, Master of Science in Education, Special Education.
They walk down together, but they
Juliet Pendergrass Brasso,
yeah, days are gone.
Master of Science in Education, individualized focus.
Yeah, I gotta go to work. Yeah, QPJ down.
Firouzeh Habibi, Master of Science in Education, individualized focus. Lori Lynn Beavers, Master of Science in Education, individualized focus, graduate certificate, elementary education.
Give me 4 of them.
Megan Ashley Sozinski, Master of Science in Education, reading specialist.
It is. Last time.
Lori Michelle Dodson, Master of Science in Education, TESOL.
Yeah, I was like this.
Ron Will Cool, Master of Science in Education, TESOL. Teresa Michelle Middleton King,